everybody, I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Roy Cannaday.
Today we're taking a look at a party game, and fortunately we like party games. This is the third one in a line of party games from Repos. The first being one.
Just one.
Just one. I don't know why. I was going to say one word. No, just one. Very popular game. And then last year, So Clover. And now Fun Facts, which I'm just going to tell you right now is a terrible name because I can never remember the name of this game.
I think it is funny because we kept bringing it out. I literally told you the name of this, and then you forgot it 2 seconds later. I was like, no, it's Fun Facts.
I don't know why I cannot remember this name. I think it's because it's not Fun Facts.
The
game is not about fun facts. The game is more of a, I'm going to ask you a question and go, how many years of your life would you give up to have unlimited access to teleportation? And the answer to that is 1.
It's such a hard call. Unlimited teleportation? Unlimited?
That's pretty useful, though. You would save a lot of time in your life.
You would save a lot of time. And then, the places you would go.
All right, which decade in the 20th century has your preferred type of music?
It's got to be like early 2000s, but that's because that's me.
What do you think I would say?
Probably way before. I don't know.
50s.
Yeah.
50s. All right, but anyway, so this game is a game in which you don't really need to know that information. You just need to try to guess if you're higher or lower than someone else. Here's a quick way of how it plays. In this game, each person's going to get one of these chevrons, which, by the way, are nicely raised so that when you write on them and slide them across the table, it won't erase things. People who make games like this, take note. Each person's going to write their name on one of these and take the matching pen. I assume when these pens run out, well, so much for people knowing what color you are. It doesn't really matter, but it is nice to have the pens in a different color. Anyhow, you're going to play through a certain number of rounds, and you're playing cooperatively, and on a turn, and there's 8 turns, you're going to turn over a card, and it will say, how much do you enjoy new technology? Many of the cards are from 0 to 100. How important is family to you? How interested are you in going bungee jumping? How interested are you in meeting the Pope? How much do you enjoy going to concerts? And people are going to write a number on the other side of their chevron. Now, not everything has a 0 to 100. It might be, in general, how many books do you read in a year? Or in general, how many times per year do you go to hair salon? How long would your ideal non-stop Mediterranean cruise be? Or how many romantic relationships have you been in that lasted longer than 1 year? So these are the questions, and you write your numbers on them. So the first person who writes their number on it, so let's say we're talking about how interested you are in technology, so Joe puts it there. And then Bob is next. Now Bob knows that Joe is a little bit of a Luddite, but he doesn't know what Joe thinks about being Luddite, but he thinks, I'm probably higher than Joe, so he goes here. Sue now has to decide whether she thinks she's higher than Bob, between Bob and Joe, or lower than Joe. So she'll go above Bob. George, who really likes tech, thinks he's easily at the top. And Al, he thinks he's the second highest from the top, so he'll stick him in there. Now, once everyone goes, then Joe can go. And Joe's like, I can't be the lowest in this regard. So Joe decides he's probably better than Bob at least. And he can move it. So that's how it works. The first person puts theirs out, everyone else puts it out, then the first person can move theirs once. So then we reveal. Bob says 60. Joe says 40. 40 is not higher than 60, so it's removed. 75. 60. Now if 60 up in here, it would have been fine because it's the same number. And then George says 100. So as a group, we got 3 points. And you'll keep track on this star, and you'll write 3. That's it. You do it 8 times, and then you look at this little chart in the rules, and it tells you how much, how well that you've done by playing this. And that is the game. You're just going to play, and you can play again and over again, playing through different questions. Also, if you want to see more of it, we've actually played this live on our channel. So you can see us playing through the game. So a lot of times these games with personal stuff bother some people.
Right.
I'm going to argue that most of these are not tremendously
too crazy.
They're not like, how ugly are you on a scale from 0 to 100. But there are ones, like when we played, how creative are you?
Right. There was a little bit of like, oh, they really think they're that, like, when you're at the bottom and then everybody puts their things way higher than you, you're like, oh, they think they're that much more creative than I am? And I guess everybody thinks that they're a creative person, so it just depends on the question.
But it's not so much, it's weird. It's not that you think you're more creative than that person. You think you're more creative
than they
think they are creative, which is a weird thing. Like, I might, so one of the questions I use in my examples is, how much do you like new technology? And I know some people hate new technology.
Yeah.
But I bet you they rate it higher. They'll be like, oh, I like new stuff. I'm like, no, you don't. You complain every time something new comes out. So I have to think in this game higher than that person thinks.
It's very much of a meta game. You have to like get inside the other person's head and like know how you rank on these things or how you would rank yourself on these things compared to how that person would rank themselves on things. It's completely cooperative and it's very interesting of like this kind of like facts game that like you're not trying to like outguess other people. You're trying to guess together.
Right, I guess that's the thing. So that's why I know that some people won't like a few of the questions, like how open are you to new experiences. But I'd say most of them are much more interesting, like in a restaurant, what's the maximum amount of time you'll wait for a table? That kind of question I find interesting, and I'll think, well, okay, I know, Roy might be more patient than me, but, if they say over 30 minutes, I'm out.
I waited for a table for an hour this weekend, so.
Well, there you go. Really?
Yeah, it was at a Japanese barbecue place. It was good.
Well, that makes sense, I guess. But these things also have situational, but you're playing cooperatively. The score doesn't matter, because all it does is say, good job, or whatever.
It's very much like Just One or So Clover. It's like, it's not that big of a deal. The score at the end, it's more the activity going through it, but it's still fun to try to do your best.
But I have played situations where we get them all in a row, and then everyone high-fives each other. Like, yeah! It's exciting. I don't know. This is, for me, not as good of a game as Just One.
I agree.
It's not as clever as So Clover.
Right.
But when I first heard about this game, I didn't think much of it at all. Now that I've played it multiple times, I have enjoyed each play of it. I don't know what. There's something about trying to guess. I've always liked games like Timeline.
Right.
And things like that.
It's kind of timeline off of other players' like thoughts on these questions, right?
And I don't even mind. If we get it wrong, I think the discussion that ensues is also really funny. Like, I thought you loved opera music and you gave yourself a 10.
I was so proud of the times that, like, we got it right. And it's really funny when that one move, like, when it comes back to the first person, they move their thing and shove it in the middle of everybody, and then it's perfectly right. That stuff's kind of rewarding.
It is. Yeah, for me, this is an 8 out of 10. I'm hesitant to say it's an amazing party game, but it's really solid. It's much more interesting than I thought. I think the replayability is high. I think it is a little group dependent.
Right.
But your group just has to kind of want to get along and work together. Again, some people are like, and you're sitting there and you're looking at the other people. And it's good if everyone knows each other.
Right. Definitely.
But it's not a terrible icebreaker either. If you're just, you're like, how comfortable with public speaking, and you're like, okay, well.
They've been quiet the whole time during this gameplay session.
So it's probably smaller. And then if it's not, you learn about those people.
Right.
They'll go, oh, I said 80. Oh, you don't know. I'm just being quiet because I'm trying not to take over the conversation.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, for me, I'm giving it a 7.5. I think that I enjoyed Just One and So Clover better than this game, but I do think this is a cool evolution. If you enjoyed those games, you probably will enjoy this one as well, and you definitely should try it out. I think it's definitely worth recommending.
Do you think it's a game?
This one? I mean, it is a game. I mean, you have scoring at the end where it's kind of like that Hanabi style scoring where it's like, oh, you got this many points, you did this good, that sort of thing. But I still find it an enjoyable thing to like learn and have fun as a cooperative game together.
All right, well, there you go. That is Fun Facts. I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Roy Cannaday.
We'll see you next time.